My last video was called "You Can Get Any Woman," right? And I believe that. I think it's absolutely true. You don't need money and you don't need looks. You can get any woman you want. Okay? All you need is confidence and just go out there and make it happen. That's what I truly believe because I've lived that. I've gotten any woman I've wanted if I've just gone out there, right? Now, the thing is, see, there are a lot of people who commented on that video, commented and said that I was totally wrong. And this irritated me. It irritated me to no end, okay? A lot of these comments were like, "Coach, I think you're great. I love your content. But on this issue, you're totally wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. You need money and looks and social status. And if you don't have that, you're not going to get any woman you want." And, you know, they didn't actually say it, but they basically tacitly said that you just have to settle for whatever ham planet, you know, galloped your way, you know. It irritated me for various reasons. Number one, this notion that I'm automatically wrong without, you know, even looking at the video. Because one of the comments, for instance, was posted 3 minutes after I had posted the video. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. I mean, you guys know that I'm a long-winded son of a bitch, right? I mean, all my videos go like 20 minutes, sometimes 30, sometimes longer, for crying out loud, right? So how the hell did this guy watch a 20-odd minute video in under 3 minutes, huh? And be able to comment, you know, intelligently on the video? Well, of course he didn't, yeah? He saw the title and just, you know, put out there that I was wrong. So it irritated me because the guy and a lot of other commenters clearly had not watched the goddamn video. That bothered me, number one. Number two, of course, it irritates me whenever anybody says that I'm wrong because, you know, I've got my ego, and also I put like fucking care in these fucking videos, right? And so when I say something, it's not thoughtlessly said. I've actually thought about the things I'm going to say on my videos. I have notes and everything and shit, you know? I mean, it's not, I'm not totally half-assing it in these videos, is my point, right? So it bothered me that people would think automatically that I'm wrong. And number three, and the thing is, I realized the thing that really, really bothered me is that it brings young guys down. That was why it bothered me so much, okay? Because, see, if some defeatist guy says some shit like that, oh, you know, coach, you're totally wrong, you know, you can't get any woman, blah, 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 yeah, I'm going to blow him off. Why am I going to blow him off? Because I know better. I'm an old man. I'm 50, right? You know, I've been with, you know, really sweet trim in my time. I just walked up to them and, you know, got them, right? And so when some defeatist says some shit that I'm totally wrong about getting any girl, I know that he's wrong, and so I ignore him. But see, I'm 50, you know, and by this point in time, you know, my ego is just fucking bulletproof. Both because I'm naturally an arrogant shithead, and also because I have enough experience, enough mileage, and enough achievements in my life that I have a fairly strong ego and a strong sense of who I actually am. So some guy contradicting me is not going to really bother me. But you see, for a young guy, you know, a teenager, a 20-something young kid, right? You know, he listens to me and he figures, oh, well, maybe the coach is just talking out of his ass. I mean, after all, he is an old man, right? And maybe these commenters, right, who say that the coach is totally wrong, maybe they're right. Maybe these defeatists are right. And maybe these young kids think to themselves, maybe I shouldn't try. That really disturbs me and really bothers me about defeatists. And so that's why I want to talk about them. That's why I want to talk about them in this video. Because, see, you got to understand something about defeatists. First of all, you're always going to run across them in your life, okay? They're always going to be around, and a lot of times you'll find that if you're trying to achieve something, if you're going for something big, a big objective, that's when you're going to identify them, because they're always going to be saying, you can't do that. It's not possible. You don't have what it takes, okay? And see, defeatists, they're always going to couch their critique in very logical sounding in very rational arguments, okay? And that's their power. They use rationality to kill your spirit. And that's what they're doing, okay? Now, it's a subtle thing that these defeatists are doing, right? And there's a reason for it, and I'll get to their reason in just a second, but you have to identify what they're doing, okay? You have a goal. Maybe you want to date some really hot chick, right? Or maybe, who knows, you want to go climb Mount Everest or start a business or whatever it is. It doesn't really matter what it is. You have a goal in mind, right? A big goal, a potentially risky goal, right? These defeatists, they're going to come at you with shit like, oh, you know, it sounds like a good idea what you're planning on doing of climbing Mount Everest, but you know, there are so many problems and so many difficulties, and you know, the smart thing is not to do it. You know, you shouldn't do it because you're going to fail. See? I mean, sometimes they're not even going to say that you might fail. They're just going to say, oh, nobody can do that because of X, Y, and Z reason, right? They're going to come at you with logic and reason to explain why you cannot do something. You can't get the hot chick. You can't climb Mount Everest. You can't start the new business. You can't do whatever, okay? They will come at you with logic, with reason, and you're going to be almost helpless by their onslaught, because it's not even going to be an onslaught. They're not going to be insisting. They're not going to be trying to do the hard sell. It's always going to be the soft sell. It's always going to be like sliding in that doubt. It'll be like a stiletto between the ribs. You know what I'm saying? It'll be like softly, gently, and it'll kill your spirit. That's why defeatists are so fucking dangerous. That's why you got to get them fucking out of your life the second you realize who you're dealing with. Because it's not obvious, okay? A defeatist is not an obvious person. They don't walk around with a sign around their necks, right? A defeatist, a guy who's going to pull you down, a guy who's going to, whisper negatives into your ear, he doesn't have a sign. But the second you tell him about some goal that you have, he's going to slide in those doubts. And the problem is that a lot of times when you're going for a big goal, for a big mountaintop, right? A lot of times what you need more than anything else is enthusiasm. You need enthusiasm to go for it, okay? Because a lot of times, especially when things are going to be really, really tough, okay? Enthusiasm and just desire is the only thing that will help you get to your goal, okay? And so you have to be very, very careful who you allow to, manipulate and influence your spirit, your drive. A defeatist, by definition, will always pull you down, will always try to suck away your energy, suck away your enthusiasm. I mean, they are fucking bad people. They are bad people, but they don't know it. Or let me phrase it. It's not that they're bad people. That's because you're going to understand in a second why I say this. It's not that they're bad people, but they are bad people for you, and you should not allow them into your life. Because you have to understand the motivation of defeatists. And it's so simple. The motivation of defeatists is fear that you will succeed. That's their motivation. That's why they're slipping these doubts into your mind, like leeches stuck into your ear, digging to your brains. See, they're terrified that you're going to make it, that you'll do it, that you'll date the hot chick, that you'll reach the summit of Everest. They're terrified of that. Why are they terrified? Because it would show them up. Because most defeatists are men who don't have the balls to try. They have desire. They have desire to, date the hot chick, to climb Mount Everest, to start the new business, whatever the fuck. They have the desire for it. They just don't have the balls to do it. They're afraid. They're pussies. They're cowardly bitches. That's the bottom line issue on defeatists. See? They're afraid because they want the same thing. And so when they see you trying, they'll slip that doubt into your ear, and you won't do it, and it will justify to the defeatist that, yeah, it was smart. It was smart not to do this. No, no, no. It wasn't smart not to do it. It was cowardly for them not to do it, not to try. But see, that's what they're doing. They are using rationality, reason, logic, good argumentation to justify their own cowardice. That's why they're so pernicious. That's why they're so fucking dangerous. Because they're cowards, and you don't want a coward around in your life. Because a coward, what is a coward? And I've talked about it before. A coward is a man who allows his fear to dictate his actions. He's less than a man. Because as I've said before, see, a man, what is a man? What defines a man? The difference between men and every other animal on the face of this earth, including women, the difference is that men can control their emotions, can control their fear, and set aside their fear, set aside any emotion, and use their reason and rationality to achieve their objectives. That's what makes a man. That's the difference between men and everything else on this earth. Every other living organism on this earth is dominated and controlled by their emotions, ruled by their emotions, except men, us. A coward, a defeatist, he's not a man now, is he? Because he's ruled by his fear. That's the bottom line issue here. And you gotta avoid those fuckers like the plague, because they are a plague. They are a plague that will kill you, because they will kill your spirit. They will turn you into the coward just like them. Because that's what they are. And that's what I fully, it's not that I believe this, I know this. You think I haven't met guys like this before? I mean, I have to do crazy shit with my life, right? I finished college and flew out to Hollywood to see if I could make it as a writer. Everybody thought I was crazier than a loon, right? I decided that I was going to be a novelist, and everybody thought I was crazier still. I decided that I was going to do this, that, the other. Everything I've ever done in my life, everybody has said that I was crazy. And yet, lo and behold, here we are. I'm living, pretty good life and pretty much achieved the things that I wanted to achieve, crazy as they were at the time. After the fact, everybody said, oh, he's so great and blah, blah, blah. But before the fact, I was surrounded by defeatists. And all those people, they wanted the same things that I wanted. They just didn't have the balls to do it. I remember some friends of mine in college, acquaintances really, and they were saying that I was crazy to go to Hollywood. They were better writers than me. They were a lot better writers than me, right? And they said I was crazy to go to Hollywood to try to make it as a writer, and they went into, their very safe jobs, and now their lives sound pathetic. I read about their lives in the class notes, and they sound like fucking bitches, right? I mean, just fucking slaves to the machine. And they were constantly saying to me that I was crazy, that what I was doing was insane and blah, blah, blah. See? The funny thing is that what happens often as not is that when you try for the big goal, when you try to date the hot chick, right, you'll reach it. See? Because it's like this. It's like, you see a 10 on a 10 scale, right? She's sitting there at the bar. Is there any guy talking to her? No. They're too intimidated. She's sitting there, lonesome, bored, and no guy approaches her because they're all scared. They've allowed themselves to be ruled by their fear, right? Now, of course, you're going to be scared too because she's intimidating. She's hot, and you want her, and your desire will make you feel afraid. Well, you have to set that shit aside and just roll up to her and start talking to her. And 9 times out of 10, she'll smile and be happy that you're talking to her. And you charm her a little bit, and you'll probably get yourself a date with that 10 on a 10 scale. Yeah, it happens all the time. It happens all the time. But see, the defeatist, when you approach that 10 on a 10 scale, he'll grab you by the arm, like stop you there and say, no, don't go there. She's so hot. You don't stand a chance with her. That's what they'll say. Defeatists, they live their entire lives ruled by fear. They don't have the balls because they're so afraid of failing. They're so afraid of the consequences of failure. They think it's going to hurt them so badly that they refuse to try. And more often than not, you'll find that trying and failing hurts. Of course it does, but it's not that bad. But not trying and then later regretting it, that hurts so much more.